What's up, everybody? Chef Ray here from Dogfish Chesapeake and Maine restaurant located in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Today I'm going to show you how to make an easy crab corn chowder that you can make at home. Alright, so these are going to be the ingredients that we're going to use for our chowder today. 4 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of butter, that's what we're going to use to make the roux, Old Bay seasoning, Worcestershire sauce, your favorite hot sauce, some white wine, 3 strips of bacon, half a cup of corn, half a cup of Maryland crab meat. Today we're using J.M. Clayton Company crab meat from Cambridge, Maryland. 3 sticks of celery, half a yellow onion. I picked some parsley and oregano and thyme from my garden. Garlic, 1 cup of diced potato, 2 cups of milk, about a tablespoon and a half of butter. This is half veg stock and half clam juice. So it's 2 cups there in total. It's clam juice and stock. You could use any stock you have. And of course a beer to wash it down. So today we're doing the Sunday Feels Beer Mosa Sour. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our roux. So under a medium heat, we're going to melt our butter down and then slowly add in the flour. The roux is going to be our thickening agent towards the end of the process. A few different ways you could do that. This is just the way that I like to do it. Okay, so once you start to smell some nutty flavors, lower your heat and just finish up binding up the roux together, and then just take it off and set it aside. First thing you're going to want to do is render your bacon, get it nice and crispy. So once your bacon is nice and crispy, go ahead and take it out of the pan and transfer it into a soft towel or a paper towel or whatever you have to take that bacon out. But make sure you leave the bacon fat in there because we're going to throw the vegetables in next. And then now that we've set aside our bacon, we still have some of that bacon fat in there, great flavors from the bacon, and then we're going to add in our onions, celery, and garlic. And we're going to mix that up so it picks up that flavor from the bacon, and I'm even going to add in a little bit more flavor, add in a little extra butter. Nice. Do this under a medium heat. Don't have it too high because you want the vegetables to pick up all of those flavors from the cooked bacon. Until we're gonna cook the vegetables until they're slightly translucent, and then we'll go ahead and add in our corn and potatoes. So we've picked up some of the flavors from the bacon. We're starting to get some nice translucent looks here. So before you add in the corn and the potatoes, just deglaze with that white wine. Any white wine will work. Don't need anything too fancy. You just want to be able to deglaze the pan, pick up all the rest of those good bits on the bottom of the pan. So I cooked down the wine a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and add the potatoes in first. Give it a couple good stirs, and then we are going to add in our corn and the rest of our ingredients. Stirred the potatoes around a bit, and I'm going to add the corn in. Give that another few stirs, and then we're going to go ahead and add in our stock. All of our vegetables in. We're just about to add in the stock. It's a good time to add a little bit of salt. It's going to help draw out any extra moisture that is left in the vegetables. It's going to make it a little bit more flavorful. Now we're going to add our clam juice and veg stock mix. And just let that come to a simmer. So I have the stock and clam juice reducing right now. I'm going to let it reduce for another 10 minutes. This is going to allow for a more concentrated flavor and allow for the potatoes to cook a little bit longer, and then we're going to add in the milk. So we let our stock mixture reduce a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the milk in. If you have heavy cream will also work. I actually prefer to use heavy cream, but we only had milk in the house today, so we're going to use milk. And add some salt and some pepper and stir it up. So at this stage, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let it get up to a simmer. We're going to reduce it for about another 10 minutes, especially with the milk, because with the heavy cream, it'll actually reduce a lot faster. But with the milk, since it's a little bit of a lighter consistency, it's going to take a little bit more time for the flavors to reduce and thicken up. But you also have to take into consideration that there's the potatoes in here, and I used fresh potatoes, and the natural starches in the potatoes will thicken up the soup. So while you're during this stage, go ahead and keep stirring it around. Pick up all the flavors on the side. Don't get worried if you see, on the top here, this is some of that bacon flavoring, some of that butter sitting at the top. When we add our roux in and whisk that in, it's going to actually bind all that together and distribute all that good flavor. Our expert Mindy here was the culprit of the background barking, so I think she's hungry. We're going to have to feed her. Next, I'm going to add a teaspoon of Old Bay, 2 dashes of favorite hot sauce, and 2 dashes of the Worcestershire. A couple extra dashes. Lump crab meat. Make sure you always check for shells before you add it into the chowder. Chowder's a dish that should not be rushed, so just go ahead and keep tasting it, let it simmer. Don't forget to keep getting all the flavors and bits off the sides. Once you start to see it slightly start thickening up, then you can go ahead and add in your roux. Next, add in your chopped herbs. Give it a good stir and continue to let it simmer. So the chowder's simmering here. If you like a thinner consistency, you can always add less roux. If it gets too thick, you can always add a little bit more stock. And I'm going to add in half the bacon now, and then I'm going to garnish the bacon for the rest. Put it in my roux, and I'm going to continuously stir this. I want to stir this until it's fully mixed in, and I get the consistency that I want for the chowder. And you also want to make sure you're just kind of cooking out all that flour. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hope everyone gets creative and makes some chowder at home. You can use any type of protein you want. Just kind of the basics of making a chowder. Cheers. Hope everyone's staying safe. Looking forward to be cooking for everybody once we can open up in the future.